This week, my students are studying passive infinitives. A passive infinitive begins with to be, you always use to be, and then a past participle. Passive infinitives function as nouns in a sentence. You could put it in the position of a subject or in the position of an object. The verb need is a good verb to use in front of to be and the past participle. You use to be or to get. In this lesson, I'll focus on to be, but it is possible sometimes to use to get. And then the past participle. The car needs to be fixed. Here is to be, and then the past participle for the verb fix is fixed. Or the car needs to get fixed. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you use get or be, but there are some instances when one is better than the other. Here are some of the verbs in this lesson that will be used in the passive infinitive. The verb do, did, done. The verb clean, clean, cleaned, cleaned. Chop, chopped, chopped. And milk is a verb as well as a noun. Milk, milked, milked. We're using the past participle after to be. Here's the subject. You can use the singular or the plural. They need or it needs to be. And then here is the past participle. They need to be done. They need to be cleaned. They need to be chopped. They need to be milked. What needs to be done? In this question, what is functioning as the subject and needs is the verb, followed by to be and the past participle for the verb do. What needs to be done? The house needs, and then use to be, and the past participle for a verb can go here. The house needs to be cleaned. This is not the past tense. This is the past participle. What needs to be done? The cows need to be milked. Who will do the work? The cows don't really do anything other than be milked. Milk is a verb in this sentence, and it's in the form of a past participle. What needs to be done? The vegetables need to be chopped. The subject here is plural, and so the verb is also plural. And then here is to be, and the past participle for the verb chop is chopped. The vegetables need to be chopped. Here are some more examples of passive infinitives in the form of an object. Here's the subject, here's the verb, and then all of these are objects. He hopes to be hired. She needs to be fed. They plan to be married. This is marry in the simple form, and here it is as the past participle. She wants, here's the subject, and then here's the verb, and here is the object. She wants love. Or, with a passive infinitive, she wants to be loved. Both the noun and the passive infinitive are acting as objects in this sentence. We can take to be loved and put it in the position of a subject. To be loved. And then a verb would go here. We can use the verb be. This is the verb. All of this passive infinitive is the subject, and then something after it. This would actually be the subject complement because you're using the verb be. To be loved is her dream. To be loved is her dream, and I can use a prepositional phrase here. To be loved is her dream in life. As you can see, the passive infinitive can be an object in a sentence or a subject. This does sound more formal, but it works as a subject. I hope to be chosen. Here's the subject, and then here's the verb, here's the passive infinitive. To make this negative, you could add not here. I hope not to be chosen. In some sentences, this is the way to make the negative. You probably wouldn't say, I don't hope to be chosen. This would sound much better. They like to be played with. Here's the subject, here's the verb, and then to be played with is the passive infinitive. This is a phrasal verb, play with. These two words go together. If you want to make this one negative, then just use don't, because this is the present tense. They don't like to be played with. I probably wouldn't use not here. If I said they like not to be played with, that sounds a little awkward. So to make sentences like these negative does depend on the passive infinitive or how you begin the sentence and what verb you've chosen for the sentence. Here's an example of a question in the present tense using the helping verb do. It matches he. Does he need to be fed? Here is the passive infinitive. The answer, no, he doesn't. Or if you create a complete sentence, no, he doesn't need, and then just repeat the passive infinitive. He doesn't need to be fed. This is the kind of question you'd ask for a baby, a child, or perhaps an animal. When an infinitive goes at the beginning of a sentence, as it does here, it has a more formal feeling. To be given an opportunity to succeed, all of this goes together in the form of a phrase, and this is the passive infinitive. The verb for all of this is this verb here. It's the verb be. And then this is a subject complement, wish, his deepest wish. To be given an opportunity to succeed is his deepest wish. Or if we reverse it and put this first, his deepest wish is to be given an opportunity to succeed. I think it's important to try this both ways, with the passive infinitive at the beginning or at the end. His deepest wish is to be given an opportunity to succeed. So here now is the subject, and then here's the verb, and all of this is functioning as the subject complement. It starts with the passive infinitive, to be given, and then an opportunity is the object of this passive infinitive. The sentence ends with another infinitive, to succeed. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up. and subscribe to my channel.